was a focus from the beginning. And there's a really simple reason for that, right? So Phenom has never been or will never be an ATS, an applicant tracking system, right? Because we believe that's part of core HCM functionality, like the Workdays, the SAPs you mentioned. And so from the very beginning, we've always known and believed that your system of record, your system of compliance will always remain your HCM, that hub. And for that reason, we've integrations have always been huge. That's right. That's been the center of our product, is the free flow of data, a few different types of data in and out of the Phenom platform, right? The Phenom platform cannot survive without jobs, right? Jobs are the sort of the products. Those are the pairs of shoes, or those are the bananas or apples that you would buy online at the gross online, Instacart. Those are our jobs. Applicants, candidates coming into Phenom and into the ATS, right? Your applicants, and then your candidates, and then your candidate statuses, right? Moving candidate statuses in and out of the Phenom product as well have always been huge. So that's the beginning, right? So we've always had a focus on it. Where are we today? Phenom has a product called IX, Integration Experience. It's sort of the underpinning of Phenom's sort of user experiences, because it provides that free flow of data that I mentioned between your system of record and Phenom, which we call sort of the system of engagement, right? Because that's where you're engaging with jobs, that's where you're engaging with candidates. Across the largest enterprise ATS and HCM providers you mentioned, we have a number of productized integrations. Consider them off-the-shelf connectors. And I think the future for Phenom is, how do we expand that across just the larger ATSs, but into the more niche, HCM providers, right? Maybe you have a hiring product just for hiring healthcare workers, nurses, doctors, and things like that. And so maybe it's not an enterprise grade large tool like that, but how do we expand across horizontally, sort of across market sectors? The last thing is, how do you ensure reliability, stability, and scale across time, right? Because all of these providers you mentioned, they're also doing their own product releases quarterly, and they're updating their integrations. So how do we make sure we stay on top of that? Build in resiliency too. When I say resiliency and when I say scalability, I mean, what if you're deploying not with Phenom in one country? What if you're deploying in 20 countries? We have a client right now that's in 29. We have a client right now that's in 29 countries. How do we support their job publishing in 29 languages and support their applications that come in 29 languages? That's not really one integration, is it? It's sort of like 29 integrations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's sort of how I think of it. And thankfully we have, across the market, we have sort of the largest percentage of any of our competitors of our employees that are engineers, if that makes sense. So the majority of Phenom, two-thirds of Phenom are engineers out of our 1,700 employees. That's given us an unbelievable sort of amount of maneuverability.